our honorable chief guest is Mr. Ali Salman Siddique. He is a chairperson of Punjab Technical Education and Vocational Training Authority. The good news is that he is, by profession, he is a politician, but by his action, he is a reformer. So he really reformed this skill education in the country. And his organization, the TEVTA, is one of the largest one in Pakistan, like as a skill manpower service provider. Even in our university, we have several people who are graduate from TEVTA, and they are doing a wonderful job. We will first request the Honorable Chairperson of TEVTA, Mr. Ali Salman, to say a few words about what his organization is doing and what are his initiatives, so that we can take the lead from there and move forward. Sir, Ali Salman, sir.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, thank you so much, Dr. Mukhtar, for being very kind towards my introduction. To all the professors and all the gentlemen sitting here, to all the, I can see a lot of, I think, students as well, and especially Professor Klaus. So thank you, National Skills University, for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this meetup. As we all understand, we all know the importance of e-learning, and especially after COVID-19, I mean, at least to me, that was basically the first instance where I realized how important this forum can be, the e-learning bit, where you train students online and in hybrid models and stuff. So if I come back and I, just for the sake of knowledge for all the people over here, TEVTA Punjab is basically the largest skill provider of Pakistan. It's TEVTA Punjab that I head at the moment. And we have 403 institutes across Punjab in every district and tehsil, with a student base of 200,000 plus, in which we train in technical skills, in vocational skills, and now the third stream is the e-learning, where we're focusing on future skills as well, including all the ones that Professor Klaus had mentioned in his presentation. And for the past 2.5 years since I took over, what we've tried to do is basically take this initiative of the skill provider in Pakistan to be basically focusing on international standards. And for that, we made a vision and a new skill ecosystem through which we're working towards basically making Punjab as the hub of skilled labor, where we can send them abroad, give them to all the industry, and basically ensure entrepreneurship. Now, coming to this topic today, which is very dear to me, because when COVID struck the world in March 2019 or 2020, yes, 20. So that is when we, all our institutes were closed, and we were under pressure to basically, do something for the students. And that's when basically we started looking at different models across the world, that how can we basically start giving them education through online platforms, and whether it's feasible, whether it can be done. Because the problem was that the students in TEVTA, they come from low income backgrounds, because this is more of a social protection program by the government. So when we were basically focusing on that would everyone have computers, would everyone have the high-speed internet and stuff? But anyways, what we did was we did a pilot, and for 500 students who with the private sector, that we will basically give them an e-commerce training for 3 months, which seemed to us to be the easiest and the fastest way of checking this model. And once we started that, the results were phenomenal. They were so good that they were better than all the other trades, or basically the things that we teach at TEVTA, in terms of the demand for, the entire program that we've done till now in a year and a half has been for 20,000 students. And the applications, the demand for that was 150,000. So you can imagine the demand that was there, which we didn't know about. And since then, we basically initiated the e-learning. Then we went on to artificial intelligence. Then we collaborate with LUMS for data sciences, and then robotics and cybersecurity, to the extent that till now we've basically trained 20,000 students in different basically these technical skills. On these online e-learning skills. And now, the success has been the best ever in the history of TEVTA. So now what we're doing is basically we've collaborated with the Punjab IT board, which is looking after all the IT paraphernalia of the government. And we've been working for the past 3 months on basically initiating a huge program, at least for 100,000 more students, for basically a digital skills program. And that is based on the successes that we've made. So that's basically 100,000 students in 1 year will be taught in all these basically relevant demand-driven skills, including artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, robotics, fintech, whichever there's demand in Pakistan and the demand that is internationally. So till now, the focus has been great. And on Tuesday, the next week, we will be holding a stakeholders conference. I will invite Professor Sahib, you and your own team, to give us basically your input, because this is going to be, some of the things that we've learned over the past year and a half that we've been focusing on these skills. There are a lot of problems as well that, we've been facing. So this 100,000, digital skills program, this will be named after the Chief Minister. So in this, we've figured out there are a lot of problems as well that we faced. For example, in terms of, first, we basically said that, okay, we will initiate these courses in our schools. But the problem was in COVID, all the schools were closed. So, there was, the students weren't even coming. And then when we basically launched this online completely through an LMS system, a learning management system, where you check the students over there, so the results started coming, were much better than the ones that were being held in schools. The second part is, okay, once you've trained these students in 3 months how to basically, for example, trade on these internet platforms, but then the problem was, how do they open a bank account and how will the money start coming in? So that was another factor that we had to, take control. Then there were a few multinational companies which collaborated with us, and they said that we want to hire your people. But then there were certain issues with certifications that we would want certifications of these people. So then we had to look into that, and so many other things basically. So what we've done over the past year and a half is basically we've tried to see the strengths and the weaknesses of this online system. And now finally, basically in the next few months, we're going to launch a mega program, because I think this is the future, especially for a country like Pakistan with a youth bulge of over 60% of our population. And there is no other way of basically economically empowering these students, giving them skills, because I have 403 institutes. When I came in 2.5 years back, we were on 90,000 student base per year. I increased it by 110,000 through a Chief Minister Hunarman Nojwan program, where we focused on 57 demand-driven skills, which was with the industry, and we raised it to 200,000. But again, the numbers are huge, which really need these type of trainings. So, I've gone full chock-a-block in my institutes. Where do I come up with other, infrastructure facilities? There's so much that one can do in a short span of time. This we found is the only way and the shortest possible way of empowering our youth, or basically not just the youth, even men who basically are reintegrating in the economy due to COVID coming back. What we're trying to do is to basically give them these skills, because these skills are, one, easy. Two, basically it's for almost everyone. Okay, for some courses for AI, you need like bachelor's in sciences and stuff, but there's so many others where you don't need that. And with Facebook, what we did was, when Facebook and other through our social media platforms saw what TEVTA is doing in this fair, so they collaborated with us, and they said that we will train your women on She Means Business, their flagship program, whereby our students who are ending their courses will be trained how to start their own business and basically how to market their business on Facebook. And that program was for a year, and 3,000 students were trained as a pilot, and that too from the rural parts of Punjab. I mean, I'm talking about Bahawalpur, Laya, Bhakkar, all these places. And if you go on social media platforms, you will see all the success stories, to the extent that these women, have started earning 45,000 rupees per month to over 100,000 rupees, which they were not before. So imagine the impact that has created. And we've done a tracer study and all that, because I wanted to make this into a successful program, a pilot to start off with. And once it was done, then could, raise the bar and raise basically the population for it. And now Facebook is basically signed up with us for 10,000 more students on the same program. So looking at all these programs, TEVTA Punjab, being a traditional, conventional skill provider, where we used to just train mechanics and carpenters and electricians and stuff, we said that, okay, that is also a need of the economy. We will do that. But we can do that in our 403 institutes. For this e-learning, we don't need any institute. We just need basically, to collaborate with the private sector, and through, the online mode, we can go big. But then again, it's not about the number as such. I mean, it is, but the most important part is the quality. So what we've done is we've done a tracer study of the 20,000 students that we've basically trained in different disciplines. And the results, again, are very, very promising. I mean, in the first month, 56% of the students have started earning 36,000 rupees per month. So that is basically something which was never done before. So looking at all these basically problems, now we're in a position to actually go big and collaborate with the private sector. These 100,000 courses, student base for these different courses will not just be, TEVTA won't be, teaching them that. We will get the private sector to, come and work with us. We will go through a tender so that we get the private sector on board. But all the problems that we had faced in the previous year and a half will have been solved. And hopefully today we will listen to Professor Klaus. And there's a lot of information that I'm waiting for from you, so that we can make our program not just better, but great, because of you and Dr. Mukhtar and your team. Thank you so much once again.
Sir, thank you very much. And I think the nation should be really indebted to you for all your efforts.